Welcome to your Daily Dose. My name is Robert. I'm here with Hillary from the Parkinson Voice Project. Hillary, thank you so much for taking time. First off, happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you. Can you believe it's almost here?
You know what? It shouldn't be a surprise, but every year with all the setup and the makeup it takes to get here, I guess it is a little bit. How has your season gone? How are you doing here as we're on the nearly Christmas Eve?
Doing well. I love this time of the year. And we here at the clinic this week and next week, we're really closed. So it's hard. Patients aren't interested in doing therapy during Christmas and New Year's. Imagine that. I know I'm shocked. And so it's a nice time for our folks to have a break, and many of them are off for the next 2 weeks. So it's really a lovely time. And then we come back and we actually have a week of planning and staff training. So I love how we're intentional about that to kind of plan what the year is going to look like and focus on some training for our folks too.
Give everybody kind of an overview of your history with the Parkinson Voice Project. I've spoken with Samantha before and taken her from the inception of things, but
Right.
your history with PVP, how long you've been there, and what your current role is, and I love how you're speaking organizationally about, because you guys really are, you're a big unit in what you're doing. So please give me some of that overview from your perspective.
Thank you. So I joined January of 23, so it's almost been 2 years. And at that point, I was the first clinic director. Samantha, as CEO, has done everything for 20 years. We actually will celebrate our 20th anniversary at the end of 2025. So I'm rounding, but yeah, amazing, right? And so then in July of this year, I took on the role of Chief Operating Officer. And again, that was new. We had not had that role before. So I help lead and manage all areas of the operations, really of our headquarters here in Richardson, Texas. We are the base operation, if you will, for all of Speak Out around the world. So we want to make sure all of our systems, processes, and approaches are the best, and then help others replicate what we're doing here.
That part of it is really exciting to me. That replication, and it was an early on, well, I've seen it over the last couple of years. The way she's offered grants, the way she says, how
Yes.
can we, we're yes and exercise. She's saying, how can we yes and what we're doing, community to community, empowering individuals who are already trained, perhaps it seems, in the speech language pathology world, to
That's
say,
right.
here's another offering. Here's another way to connect. You're already doing it. So here's another way to connect with more people. And it's both an expansion, I think, for the therapist and for the community. That's lovely about the work is because I know as a clinician, when somebody brings me something and says, hey, you could do this too, it's like, oh, wait a minute, that really ups my practice, my offering, and it helps the people I'm working with. Is that a satisfying thing for you?
It so much is. The pandemic kind of turned things on their ear, and we found that silver lining for us. Previously, everyone who was treated by us was done in the clinic. So Samantha shut down the clinic March of 2020 on a Thursday and thought, oh, how do I make sure that all of these patients have ongoing group therapy? Well, she did her first Zoom the next day from her house, thinking it would kind of bridge over to when all this craziness ended. And so we celebrated our 1000th session not too long ago. So they never stopped. And that first session had about 30 people with Parkinson's practicing with her. Now we average 4,000.
Nuts. And
Right. And yes, that's right. Just all over the world. That's exactly right. And so and then from here in Texas, we can now serve everyone in Texas as speech language pathologists. Are licensed, are state bound. And so we can now see everyone in Texas, which is very exciting. And so that's where the vision came from on the grants, is that, so okay, we can do that in Texas, how about everyone else in the country? And so the grants that she rolled out 2 years ago now, the therapy and research center grant is the newest grant, and we aim to replicate what we're doing here. And so it's a university clinic who trains SLPs, speech language pathologists, and many have applied, few are accepted, but we aim to have a grant site in every state, which is embedded again in that university, with faculty trained in Speak Out, and then with grad students being trained as well. And so we even offer a cash part of that to help them manage it for 5 years. So, funded by our generous donors who are mainly patients and their grateful families. So, right, everything is like amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, the origin story and all that is fantastic. And like I said, I've covered some of that with Samantha. One thing I want to do, because you were hitting on something and it just hit me the other day. It surprises me when it happens, and we're going to go into this in the next episode. People still don't quite understand the necessity, the ground level necessity of speech language pathology and its correlation to Parkinson's. So
Yes.
let's come back and
Okay,
let's talk
perfect.
about that foundationally. Okay, we'll see you on the
Okay,
next
great.
episode.
Thanks.